Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're diving into something today that's causing a major splash in the tech world. We're talking about AI and specifically how China's AI scene is shaking things up.
It really is fascinating to see how quickly things are changing in this field. I mean, it used to be just a handful of big names dominating AI development,
Right.
but now we've got a new player that's not just competing, but actually outperforming some of those established giants.
Okay, so let's get right to it. We're talking about Deepseek R1, this AI chatbot that's been making headlines.
Yeah.
It was developed by a Chinese research lab, and it's going head-to-head with the likes of ChatGPT, which you've probably heard of.
Right, ChatGPT.
But it's also taking on other big names like Llama and Gemini. And the thing is, DeepSeek is actually beating them, especially when it comes to math and logic problems.
And what's even more impressive is that DeepSeek is available for free. Anyone can use it.
I know, right? It's free, and it was developed for a fraction of what American companies are pouring into AI.
It's a stark contrast, isn't it?
Think about it. DeepSeek was developed for something like $5.6 billion. OpenAI, Google, Meta, these companies are spending billions.
It really makes you question the whole idea that you need massive budgets and the most advanced hardware to make breakthroughs in AI.
Right.
Clearly, innovation can come from unexpected places.
Totally. And remember when OpenAI's founder, Sam Altman, basically said there was no real competition on the horizon? Well, DeepSeek kind of flipped the script.
It's a great example of what can happen when you underestimate your rivals.
For sure. And DeepSeek's popularity has exploded. It's become the top downloaded app in the US and a bunch of other countries. It's even overtaking ChatGPT in some places.
Yeah.
And the financial markets have definitely noticed. Companies like NVIDIA, the ones making those powerful chips for AI training, they took a major hit. We're talking billions of dollars lost in a single day.
It's a huge shift in the landscape and a real wake-up call for some of those established players.
Okay, so who's the mastermind behind this AI disruptor?
Well, the creator of DeepSeek is a bit of an enigma, actually.
Yeah.
He's not a big public figure, but we do know he's got a background in both finance and AI. He actually started a hedge fund called Highflyer that used AI for investments and then founded Highflyer AI to focus specifically on artificial intelligence.
Interesting. So his approach to building DeepSeek, is there anything unique about how he went about it?
Absolutely. Instead of going after seasoned engineers, he actually built a team of PhD students. He prioritized scientific curiosity over profit, which is a pretty unconventional approach.
Yeah, and clearly it paid off. So how does DeepSeek actually think?
So DeepSeek uses something called the chain of thought model.
Okay.
It allows it to reason through problems step by step, a lot like how humans think.
Okay, interesting.
It's a big departure from those earlier AI models that struggled with tasks that required, logical reasoning or solving complex problems. With this model, DeepSeek can analyze information, it can question itself, and ultimately come up with more accurate answers.
So it's like it's thinking things through rather than just spitting out a response.
Exactly. That's a big deal. And it's really what sets DeepSeek apart. I mean, take a simple comparison problem like which is bigger, 9.11 or 9.9. Older models would often get that wrong.
Really?
Yeah, they'd say 9.11 is bigger because they wouldn't understand the concept of numerical value.
Interesting.
But DeepSeek actually pauses, thinks it through, and gets the right answer. And get this, DeepSeek actually shows its work. Users can see its reasoning process step by step.
So it's transparent, like you can follow its logic.
Exactly. It builds trust, and it gives you incredible insight into how this AI operates.
Okay, so DeepSeek sounds like a total game changer, but I know there's been some controversy too. What's the deal with that?
Well, one of the big concerns is censorship. There have been reports that DeepSeek avoids answering questions about certain sensitive political topics, particularly those related to China.
Oh, I see. So like, are there specific examples of that?
Yeah, if you ask DeepSeek about certain events or criticisms of the Chinese leadership, it'll try to dodge the question. It might steer the conversation towards safer topics like math or coding. Now, here's where things get interesting. DeepSeek is actually open source.
Oh, wow.
Even though it was developed in China, anyone can download the code, modify it, and run it locally without any restrictions.
So they're giving everyone access to this technology.
It's kind of like giving everyone the blueprints to a really powerful machine. The possibilities are huge, but so are the potential risks, right?
Yeah, for sure.
The key takeaway here is that open source AI has both pros and cons, and we need to think carefully about both sides.
So how are companies responding to this open source model?
Well, some companies aren't wasting any time. I mean, Perplexity AI, for example, downloaded DeepSeek, removed those restrictions, and integrated it into their platform. And even Microsoft is on board, offering DeepSeek through their Azure AI platform.
So it's being embraced pretty quickly.
Absolutely. It's a clear indication of how appealing DeepSeek's open source model is. And it could lead to a surge of innovation as developers tailor it to their own specific needs.
Okay, so let's talk about how DeepSeek actually performs. We know it's making waves, but how does it stack up against the competition in a head-to-head comparison?
Well, when you look at independent analyses from places like Artificial Analysis and PCMag, a clear picture emerges. Seek is consistently a top performer, especially when it comes to coding, quantitative reasoning, even riddle solving.
So it's pretty versatile.
It is. Now, it's not perfect. ChatGPT still has the edge when it comes to response time.
Okay.
Deepseek can be a bit slower, probably because its servers are being slammed with all the new users. It's a good problem to have, I suppose, but it highlights the challenges of scaling AI to meet global demand.
Yeah, that makes sense. So we've talked about its capabilities, its popularity, and its performance. But what about the underlying technology? What makes DeepSeek tick?
Well, one of the things that makes DeepSeek so fascinating is its unique AI architecture. It uses something called the mixture of experts method, and this is completely different from how ChatGPT works.
How so?
So with ChatGPT, they use a single massive model to handle everything you throw at it, whether it's writing a poem or solving a complex equation.
Okay.
But DeepSeek has specialized models for different tasks, so instead of one giant AI brain trying to do it all, it's more like a team of specialists.
I like that analogy.
It's a lot more efficient this way. Only the models needed for a specific task is activated, which reduces the load and speeds things up, and it saves money too. By only using the necessary models, DeepSeek uses less computational power, which means lower operating costs.
So it's not just about performance, it's about efficiency and sustainability, too.
Precisely. And that leads us to a really crucial question. DeepSeek has arrived on the world stage, and now people are talking about a global AI race. Is this the beginning of a new era of competition in artificial intelligence?
That's the big question, isn't it? What are the implications of DeepSeek's success, and what does it mean for the current AI giants?
Well, one thing is, for sure, DeepSeek has shattered the idea of a single dominant force in AI. Innovation can come from anywhere, and things are changing fast.
It's exciting, right?
It is, this feeling that anything is possible, that the game is changing, but it also raises some big questions about the future.
Absolutely. Like, what happens next? Where do we go from here?
Well, that's something we'll explore in more depth in the next part of our deep dive. We'll look at the potential ripple effects of DeepSeek's success, consider the ethical implications of open source AI, and discuss what it all means for the future of global technological innovation.
Sounds good. We'll pick up right where we left off after a quick word from Ashkar Podcast. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. Before we took that quick break, we were really getting into this idea that DeepSeek could be the spark that ignites a global AI race.
It's almost like we're watching a tech version of the space race unfold, right? Countries battling it out to be the leader in this incredible field.
The comparison is really spot on, I think. The space race pushed the boundaries of what we thought was possible, and it fueled incredible innovation. And that's exactly what we could see happening with AI.
Right, a period of intense competition, rapid advancements. But it's not just about bragging rights, is it? We're also talking about some pretty major economic and strategic implications here.
Absolutely. AI has the potential to transform entire industries, create entirely new markets, and, even potentially shift the balance of global power.
So, like, what kind of advantages are we talking about? Give us some concrete examples.
Well, imagine being able to predict market trends with pinpoint accuracy, or having the upper hand in cybersecurity, or even, defense strategies. That's the kind of power we're talking about. And the country that masters AI first will have a significant advantage.
So what does DeepSeek's success tell us about this potential AI race? Is it going to be a battle of budgets, like whoever spends the most wins?
Well, DeepSeek's story suggests that it's not that simple. They achieved these remarkable results with a relatively small budget and without the most advanced hardware.
So it's not just about who has the deepest pockets.
Right.
It's about being smart, resourceful, scrappy even.
Exactly. DeepSeek's success really highlights the importance of finding creative solutions, optimizing resources, and, sometimes even challenging that conventional wisdom.
This might be a little bit out there, but could DeepSeek's open source model actually level the playing field in this AI race? I mean, potentially?
It's a fascinating possibility. You see, by making its code publicly available, DeepSeek has essentially democratized access to this cutting-edge technology. Researchers, developers in countries that might not have the same level of funding as the big tech giants, they can still be major players.
So instead of a winner-takes-all scenario, we could see a much more collaborative, more diverse AI landscape emerge.
Exactly. With innovation happening all over the world, it's exciting to think about. Open source AI could really accelerate the pace of development and make sure the benefits of this technology are shared more equally.
Okay, but let's not forget about the potential downsides. We talked about censorship earlier, but there are other ethical concerns when we're talking about open source AI, right?
Of course. I mean, what happens if this powerful technology falls into the wrong hands? That's a valid concern. Open source AI is a powerful tool, and like any tool, it can be misused.
So how do we balance that? How do we encourage progress, democratize AI, but also address those potential risks?
It's a delicate balancing act. We need to think carefully about how to minimize those risks while still promoting innovation and open access. It's a global challenge that requires, thoughtful discussion, cooperation on an international scale.
So maybe we need a whole new way of thinking about AI governance.
Potentially, yeah. The current frameworks are definitely struggling to keep pace with the speed of AI development, so fresh approaches are definitely needed. Approaches that address the unique challenges and opportunities of this, really revolutionary technology.
Okay, so let's bring this back to our listeners for a minute. Why should they care about the rise of China's AI and, this possibility of a global AI race?
Well, it matters because AI isn't just some futuristic fantasy, right? It's already having a significant impact on our lives. Think about the algorithms that shape our social media feeds, the AI-powered assistants that answer our questions. Artificial intelligence is already intertwined with our daily routines.
So it's not just some abstract competition between countries.
No, not at all. It's about the tools and technologies that are shaping our world, shaping our experiences, and even, in a way, shaping how we perceive reality.
And as AI keeps evolving, its influence is only going to grow, right?
Exactly. And the decisions that we make today about how we develop and deploy AI are going to have huge consequences for the future. So it's crucial that we stay informed and engaged.
So what can our listeners do? How can they be part of this conversation about the future of AI?
Well, first and foremost, stay curious. Explore the different AI tools and applications that are out there. Ask questions about how AI is being used, how it's affecting your life.
Don't just be a passive consumer of technology.
Right. Be an active participant. Engage in discussions. Make your voice heard about the ethical implications of AI and advocate for responsible development practices.
And remember, AI is a tool. Like any tool, it could be used for good or for bad. It's up to all of us to ensure that it's used to benefit humanity and, ultimately create a better future for everyone.
That's a great point, and I think that's a great place to take another quick break. We'll be right back after a word from Ashkar Podcast.
We're back and ready to wrap up our deep dive into this fascinating world of AI.
It's amazing how much ground we've covered.
I know, right? We started with Deepseek's capabilities, then the whole global AI race idea.
And all sparked by this, one incredibly innovative development.
Before we finish up, though, I want to circle back to something we were talking about earlier. Innovation within constraints. It's really striking, isn't it?
It is. It's almost like DeepSeek's developers used those limitations as fuel for their creativity.
Yeah, they didn't have access to, the absolute cutting-edge hardware.
Right, so they had to squeeze every bit of performance out of what they did have.
Classic case of necessity being the mother of invention.
Exactly. And they didn't just overcome those obstacles, they actually discovered what could be a more efficient and sustainable approach to AI development.
It makes you wonder, maybe the big spenders, the ones with unlimited resources, maybe they were going about it all wrong.
It's a thought-provoking idea, for sure.
So, is there a bigger takeaway here, something that applies beyond just AI? A fundamental truth about innovation, maybe?
I think there is. DeepSeek's story is a really powerful reminder that you don't always need unlimited resources or the shiniest new tech to make a real impact.
Sometimes it's about being resourceful, right?
Absolutely. Working within those limitations, embracing diverse perspectives.
It's almost like a David and Goliath story.
Yeah.
But instead of a slingshot, David built a smarter, better weapon using what he had.
That's a great analogy, and it really is inspiring, isn't it?
Totally. So here's a question for you and for everyone listening. Could DeepSeek's success, this open source model and their efficient approach, spark similar innovations in other fields?
Oh, that's a great question. Could we see this kind of creativity and resourcefulness spill over into, medicine or energy or even space exploration?
Imagine, instead of these massive companies with giant budgets, we have brilliant minds everywhere coming up with groundbreaking solutions.
It's a really exciting thought, democratizing innovation, making it accessible to anyone with the talent and the drive.
And on that incredibly inspiring note, it looks like we've reached the end of our deep dive. But the exploration, of course, doesn't stop here.
Right.
For everyone listening, I really encourage you to check out Deepseek for yourselves. Experience this revolutionary AI firsthand and, think about what it means for the future. We're at this, really pivotal moment. It's up to all of us to shape what comes next.
Absolutely. And remember, the world of AI is evolving so quickly. So stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay engaged. It's a wild ride, and who knows what amazing breakthroughs are waiting for us just around the corner.
Well said. Until next time, keep those minds buzzing and never stop exploring.